You are not going to want to miss this one because I have a huge surprise in store for the person that I'm about to introduce you to. Check this out. Isuru!
Hey,
Hey!
hi Andrew.
It's so nice to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, same here.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Let's take a walk.
Yeah, sure.
So where are we in relation to your house right now?
Well, my house is located like 20 minutes away from here. And this is actually the Kolpiti area in Colombo.
I have a little surprise for you, Isuru. Have you ever been to the Maldives?
No, not really.
Do you know how far away it is?
I think 2 hours.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half in that direction. And actually, Crossover would like to invite you to go to the Maldives and do this interview today in the Maldives.
Are you joking?
I'm dead serious. So,
Are you sure?
yeah, what do you say we go to the airport right now and we go to the Maldives, you and I?
You sure, right?
I'm dead serious.
I really don't know what to say. Let's see.
Let's do it. I can't believe we actually made it here, Isuru.
Yeah.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Isuru, it is incredible to be here in this, one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited. And you're the first person from Crossover that I've ever traveled with, and I can't think of anyone more deserving.
Yeah, actually it is quite exciting and it's a pleasure.
Were you excited when the boat pulled up and you got to see where we were really staying?
Yes, absolutely. You told me we are going to stay in some 2-star places in the Malay Island. So I thought, okay, that's what you have booked already. But I actually didn't think an island like this.
Yeah, you're somewhat of a famous remote worker in Sri Lanka, and it all started with a Medium article that you wrote of your own accord about 2 months into the pandemic about your experience starting your brand new remote job.
Yeah. Well, actually what happened was right before the pandemic hits, I was working for a Sri Lankan company. And during that time also, I was actively looking for remote opportunities, and somehow I managed a position in Crossover. I was excited, and that excitement took me to write an article in Medium, so that in a way I want to help other Sri Lankans to get similar jobs like remote jobs.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And if I could paraphrase what you said in your Medium article, you essentially said it's difficult, but it's worth it. The benefits outweigh the things that are hard about it.
I think Crossover was paying me 3 times or even close to 4 times what Sri Lanka was offering me. And yes, they actually hired me as a contractor. There's always a risk of working as a contractor, but the compensation is great, and you don't even have to commute. And even getting paid in dollars, that is also one of the perks when it comes to third world countries. You might have heard Sri Lanka was facing a kind of an economical crisis. Our Sri Lankan rupee was depreciating every single day. People who were getting paid in Sri Lankan rupees from local companies, they couldn't even afford for the daily needs. Even during that time, my purchasing power was good in Sri Lanka. There was one point that Sri Lanka didn't even have fuel, and I was easily able to afford an electric car just by paying cash.
Wow.
I won't be able to reach that financial stability if I was working for a Sri Lankan company.
I was involved in the creation of a video telling a bit of your story back in 2021. And you were someone who instantly captivated me. You're a very interesting person. So I'm curious to know what's happened since then.
So we had a baby, and the baby is now actually 1 year and 7 months old.
Congratulations.
So in a way, this remote job actually helped me to take care of the baby. And also time to time I get to see her, have a few minutes, let's say, play like 5-10 minutes with the baby and come back and do the work. I also get the time to have lunch together with my wife and also with the baby. That is also one of the things I really enjoy, because not a lot of people have that luxury. Yeah.
That is absolutely priceless.
After the first video we shot, I have been working for like 3 or 4 teams as of now. And all those 3-4 teams are challenging actually. The technology stack is somewhat different. And every single day there's something new to learn. If I'm mastering all the technologies in a given project, after like 6 months, probably I'll be assigned to something new where I have to learn a new stack from the scratch. In a way, that is actually motivating me to learn something new every single day. So I actually kind of really enjoying the ride here.
So after 3 years working remotely in the job that you found on Crossover and actually spending more than half of that time as the first thing that applicants see when they go to crossover.com, you became somewhat notorious. What do you think has made you succeed despite the odds?
I would say everybody is smart in this company.
Yeah.
You are not the smartest person in a given room because everybody is smart from a lot of other countries. So in order to keep up with them, you have to learn something every single day. You cannot just be outdated.
One of the big changes that's affected every single industry is AI. How has AI affected your role?
We have a very good success ratio that whenever a new issue comes to our team, AI has already given us a root cause as well as a solution that has actually increased our productivity in a lot different way. Those repetitive things we are solving using AIs, we are getting only the complex problems. I'm actually spending my time just to resolve harder problems and also doing complex deep dives and stuff like that. So when the job is challenging, actually I enjoy it instead of it becomes boring.
What kind of metrics are used to measure your effectiveness?
Normally the metrics are within the last 4 weeks, how many number of, let's say, either the bug fixes or maybe the developments I have completed. And from those number, how many of them were in good quality, how many of them were rejected. Based on that, we are ranking all the engineers in a way, who is in the top, who is in the bottom.
It sounds a little bit like American Idol.
Something like that.
So where do you fall in that stack rank? Do you get to go to Hollywood and perform in front of the judges?
Well, kind of yes. In our current department, there's about 100 engineers, and I always manage to be in the top 10.
Wow.
And yeah, they put trust in me. I remember in one of my previous team, we had to implement a new feature, and we were assuming we will be able to complete it within 2-3 days, but it dragged for like 5 days. And this new feature has to be there in one of the staging system by Monday. And the SVP was telling me, I cannot ask any of the team members to work during the weekend, but if you can do it, yes, please, I'll pay the overtime as well. I need a proof of concept by Monday. And nobody was pressuring the team members to work during the weekend, but like majority of the teammates were.
Your story is inspiring in the sense that firstly, that the team stepped up, but secondly, that you were treated with respect, that your leadership team was available, and that you were paid overtime.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's a reasonable expectation.
In a way, I don't mind. If I don't have any plans during the weekend, I don't mind paying some extra time as long as they are paying me. Because I have done that with my previous Sri Lankan companies as well, and none of them were actually paying overtime. We are supposed to work even during the nights, even during the weekends.
I had one job where I worked Saturday and Sunday every single week without fail, and it was before remote work, so I was commuting into the office. I was about 23 years old, and I don't think I realized at the time how unhealthy that was. So really what I'm hearing from what you're saying is a culture of high expectations. So relentless high expectations. You're expected to deliver at your best all the time, but high reward for achieving it. Is that fair?
I actually agree with that statement, yes.
Well, thank you so much, Isuru, for being so generous with your time. It's been quite a pleasure sitting here and chatting with you. And now I think we should get out of this heat and go for a swim. How does that sound?
Well, we should definitely try it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay.